Hello everybody and welcome to another Uniko YouTube video. Today is International Cat Day, so I thought I would record a quick video using our mid-century modern Puurfect day that features this fun mid-century modern inspired cat. So a while back I had an email from a lovely customer who had purchased this mid-century modern shape stencil, and she was asking about a card that I'd made where I'd made one of these shapes like a ring. So I thought, instead of taking photographs of how I achieved this, I would do a little video. So here I am today. So I'm going to pair the mid-century modern shapes stencil with the mid-century modern Puurfect day. So I haven't made a card using these to show you. I am literally just winging it today while the boys are entertained with their gadgets. I thought I'd record a quick video before the light fades as well. It's a bit drizzly here now as well. It hasn't been the most sunniest day. So some of these shapes on this mid-century modern stencil are different sizes of each other. So what I did is I went ahead. I've got this low tack masking tape. It's called Eclipse tape, and I bought it from Stamp Addicts at probably one of the Lincoln shows, Craftorama, Stamporama. It's quite an expensive outlay, but it's a lot thicker normally when you purchase this, but it is a bit like post-it note tackiness really. So that's what I used to use before I bought this. I had a roll of this a while ago and I used it all, and as you can see I've nearly got through this roll, so I'll have to buy some more soon. But you could just use copy paper and use I have this removable adhesive runner from Stick It, which I've used on the back of my card here to secure my card in place. So what I did before I came on camera is I inked through the stencil onto the masking tape paper these couple of shapes. And what I'm going to do to achieve this ring effect is I'm going to mask off, and then I am going to place my stencil like so, and I'm just going to secure it in place. Apologies, there is now a kitten that wants to come. I can hear her meowing outside. I'm sure the fellas will find her and keep her entertained. So I have this Scotch tape, which is low tack supposedly, but this one seems a little bit tackier than ones I've had in the past that I use just to mask off parts of my stencil and keep it in place. But I am just going to grab some copy paper, if I can find some. I told you I was winging it. Just to mask off the other shapes on my stencil before I get inking. So as you can see, masking the centre off, I've created this ring shape. And I'm just gonna mask off here so I don't make too much mess. Another little bit of tape, and then I've chosen some mid-century modern inspired colours. I have honeycomb, spice cider and parsley. I'm using Concord and 9th inks. They are one of my current favourite brands. I just find the colours are vibrant, juicy, and I like that you can get the cardstock to match and the embellishments to match as well. So then all you do is just ink through the stencil over the mask. And then what you're going to do after that is simply remove this paper from your stencil, and then you're going to remove the stencil. And then I've got my little pokey tool, and you're just going to lift the mask off, and there you have this ring effect. And then I'm just going to clean my stencil, and then I'm going to reapply it, but we're going to use a different shape, this like tick shape. And I'm just going to overlap them slightly. They've just figured out that I'm recording a video. So I'm placing that, and then I'm going to place my mask inside. And as you'll see, this one has a slightly thinner border. But it'll add to the effect that I'm hopefully trying to achieve. And again, I'm just going to use this copy paper, trying to save the tape, doesn't really matter. And I'm just masking off the other shapes. It is a little bit awkward having to mask stuff off all the time, but this is just another fun way that you can use this stencil. I've used it before on cards where I've used the whole stencil in one go, but then I've made lots of cards where I've just used different shapes from the stencil. Didn't quite cut my tape long enough there. I'll just pop that bit over. And I'm going to go in with the spiced cider this time. The joys of having children and school holidays and still trying to keep up with doing a bit of work now and then. It's been quite difficult, but I thought I had a moment there where I could just record this little video, but he just stood at the door looking at me, wondering why I was talking to myself. I can't believe that we're almost finished with week 3 of the holidays already. It's gone really quick, and I've been enjoying having a slower pace of life and enjoying some time with the boys as well. And the weather has actually been quite kind to us. Apart from today, it's probably the most rainiest day we've had. And then again, we'll just peel off this masked area, and then we'll peel this off gently, and then just using my tool again to reveal the shape there. So I have got one more space, so I am going to show you how I created the mask, and this time I'm going to use the circle shape. Now the circle-ish shapes aren't quite the same, they are different circles, but they will still fit inside of each other. Now you don't have to be super... I should have done the other circle. Oops, never mind. That's me too busy talking instead of thinking. So I'm using the little circle. So where are my scissors? See, I told you I was winging it today. But that's half the fun of crafting, isn't it? You get an idea. It's taken me all day to get an idea. And I finally get one at the end of the day. So, one thing that I never got round to finishing today was a newsletter. But I have put it out on social media and sent emails to previous attendees of Uniko's upcoming autumn stamping retreat. So booking is now open for that, and I'm super excited. I mean, it's a while away, it's November, but we will be using Uniko's autumn release, and it should be a fun one. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to change the wear so it'll be slightly thicker on one edge, and then I am just going to mask off this end. I'm just going to divide this into two. So yeah, booking is now open for that, and thank you to those who've already booked on the workshop on the stamping retreat. It's going to be so much fun. I always enjoy myself, and I'll have some brand new products for you all to use when you come. I might not have been so visible on social media and things, but I have been busy behind the scenes working on new product ideas. So the last colour I'm using is Parsley, and I am just gonna go over this one, this shape. To get this nice sort of circle design. Make sure I put my lids on my inks, otherwise I end up putting my fingers in them, or you know how it goes. And this is how you achieve the sort of ring look to these mid-century modern shapes. So I'm just going to set that to one side, and we're going to stamp the cat. Now the cat comes in a solid version and an outline version. Usually I stamp and then I emboss like the face on the solid version, but there are ways around it. So I am going to go, as we've got a lot of outlines with the rings on the card, I am going to go for the solid version, and I'm going to go for a light grey cat. Now when I'm using a solid stamp, I might have mentioned this before, I always use my Misty or my stamping tool. It doesn't have to be a Misty. The Misties were one of the first ones that, it was them who invented these platform tools. So I always like to, and I was super excited when they launched it that I had to have theirs. So that's why I use a Misty, but there are others on the market by different people. So I'm just going to place my cat inside, And I'm placing him just to the edge here because I am going to fussy cut her out. Now there's lots of ways you could stamp this cat. You could do lots of embossing to achieve different colours. You could use daubers or whatever to apply different colours. But I'm just going to go for a light grey, and I'm using Dove. Now the reason why I use a stamping platform is just so I can repeat stamp and get it in the same position each time to make sure that I've got full coverage. No matter how inked up your stamp it is, sometimes like here you miss a little bit, you don't get it quite perfect. And back in the olden days, how much paper and card did we used to waste because you didn't get that perfect stamp, and then you tried to reposition it in exactly the same place and it would never work. Well, very rarely would work for me. So this invention was good, but they used to have like a T-bar that you could use. That was a clever invention for its time. But these just make things super easy. And I got this mini one. I got this off eBay. I originally went for the original size, which is, I don't know the sizes off by heart, to be honest. But it's a bit bigger than this one. But this one was just perfect for the smaller stamps. So as you can see, I've done my cat a couple of times, and just this little edge, the opposite side to his tail's being a bit awkward. But there we go, we've got him. And he'll level off. So I'm just going to peel him off, put him to one side, and I'm just going to stamp the face. So I've chosen the cat today because it is International Cat Day, and those of you who know me, I now have 2 kitties. So we have Jelly, who is 3 years old now. He's white with black spots. And then on the 4th of July, we got Callie, a calico cat kitten. And she was about 13 to 14 weeks when we got her. And she's settled in quite well. She's a bit of a tinker now and then. And Jelly isn't 100% sure on her, but he's slowly coming around. He pretends he's really old and grumpy, but really he wants to play. And then he gets fed up again and walks off. So it is quite entertaining. Now, I'm not 100% sure where my white gel pen is and if this is the good one. But if you wanted to, you could add some, I'd probably... no, that isn't the good gel pen because it's just coming out clear. But as I've started, I will just go over. Oh, it's slowly coming out. It's adding a little bit of a difference to the colour. But I tell you what would work is Posca pens, which my children have discovered. It's changed the colour slightly there. These are usually really good, these jelly roll ones. Maybe it just needs a bit of a shake, but I would perhaps just add a little bit of white. It's changing the colour slightly there, but not as white as I was hoping. Ah, there we go. A shake has helped. That is what I needed to do, shake the pen. And it just defines the eyes just a little bit more. And then what we're going to do is just fussy cut this little kitty out. And then we're going to adhere her to the card using my favourite foam adhesive. Now, I know not everyone is into fussy cutting, but it's something I find quite therapeutic and joyful, really. I just find it really fun. It can get a bit frustrating now and then if it's a complicated design, but people say, how do you get it so perfect? I don't always get it perfect, but it just takes practice really, and a good pair of scissors. Now these are my favourite scissors for fussy cutting. These are by Stampin' Up. They are their paper snips. I've got through various pairs over the years, because occasionally, even if they've got the guard on, people come into the office, into the studio here, and use the wrong pair of scissors for cutting sticky things. So I keep these guarded, and I just use them for fussy cutting. They don't get used for anything sticky, and nothing thicker than sort of the thicker base card. But I tend to do all my stamping on this card. I'm not 100% sure. I think I'd like to say it was either 180 or 160 GSM. It's Stampin' Up's original Whisper White card, and now they do a thick as well. So I want to cut out this little section here, looking at, so you can see some of the shapes through. I hope the light isn't disappearing too much. I might just have to, hopefully it won't affect the video too much, just turn my light on here. So I've got just a craft knife here. This is one by Alt New that I got recently. I needed a new one, mainly because my other one I couldn't get the blades for anymore. And I'm just gonna use my craft knife just to cut out this center part here. Sometimes you just have to go over a couple of times. So I was talking about fussy cutting, wasn't I? So if you're not into fussy cutting, and as you know, I don't have dies to match all of my stamps, but if you've got a scan and cut, you can use that. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea either. But if things start to improve, and with the cost of living and everything else that's going on, I can start to expand our dies again. There are so many on my list. And there we go. So I've just cut out the center there. So I have a cutting mat, and then I have this grid paper over the top, just for reasons like this, so I can switch in and out. Now I'm just looking where to, I think I'm going to center the cat a little bit. And as I say, I'm going to use foam adhesive. So I use the 1mm thick foam adhesive squares. It gives that bit of dimension without too much bulk. And I just pop a few of these on. So next to me I have a drawer, and it has all my sort of go-to supplies in. So the aim is to try and keep my desk clear, but as you know, as a crafter yourself, that doesn't, all good intentions, and doesn't always work out that way. So these are some that I've cut in half from a previous project probably, and then it's just a case of peeling the backs off. But yeah, I'm not the best at keeping my desk super tidy. you can't see a lot of it. On the video. So this is the time consuming bit, taking all these little bits off. Almost there. Make sure he doesn't stick to my fingers too much. And I'm just gonna center him just over. I'm just kind of eyeballing him. I'm not measuring it per se. I'll just press him down. And then we're going to add a sentiment. And as it's International Cat Day, we are going to use a sentiment from the set. But again, I am going to use my Misty, just so I get a good stamp and I don't mess it up too much. So what I might actually do is stagger my sentiments a little bit. Maybe not, I don't know. See, this is what happens when I wing things. I procrastinate a lot. When I don't have a design set out from the get-go. And then, as I say, I'm just eyeballing this again, so it might not come out perfect. But, like I keep reminding others and myself, is it's a handmade card, so it doesn't have to be 100% perfect, because if we were going for 100% perfect, we would print our cards, we would get them made like they do in the shops. We want that handmade touch and that handmade feel to it. So if your fussy cutting isn't perfect, or your stamping is a little bit off in your opinion, in your view, at the end of the day, it's a handmade card and we want that handmade look to it. Yes, it's lovely having all these fabulous foiling techniques and whatnots now, but at the end of the day, we still want it to look like a handmade card. So I'm going to add just a couple of embellishments, I think, just to add a little bit of something to this card. And I was just looking to see what colours I've got, and I think we'll go for the, I haven't got Dove, I don't think, but I've got Cobblestone, which is a similar, it's just the slightly darker grey. So I don't have all the colours yet in the enamel dots. I'm slowly adding to them, because like you, I have to decide where my pocket money goes. And I'm just going to add, trying to think where I'm going to add them. Oh, that made that pink because it was the magnet. You couldn't make this stuff up, could you, on the video today? As you know, I don't edit my videos, they just go as is. And I'm just winging it a little bit. There probably wasn't 100% need for enamel dots, but it's the way I like to finish a card. So this piece, this panel was 9.5 by 13 centimeters, I believe. I will just double check my measurements. Yes. So I do mine on American cardstock sizes, just because a lot of the card I buy is American size. So I usually do 10.5 by 14 centimeters. So I am just going to make it up this panel to the original size. So I'm just going to layer it up. I'm not going to add dimension. I'm just going to use double-sided tape just to finish him off. And my other scissors have walked that I use for glue stuff. So these are snips that have been used for sticky stuff, which I have hanging in front, but I usually have a pair of tonic scissors that are normally my go-to for cutting sticky stuff, but they seem to have wandered off somewhere. I actually think I remember seeing them down in the kitchen near the toaster of all places. The boys have been doing various projects throughout the summer for various things, and they know that they are allowed to use them scissors. So I tend to use double-sided tape. I just find it easier. It doesn't buckle my card. And I'm just lining up these corners here. And there we have the finished card. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video and my rambling today. Thank you for bearing with me, and happy International Cat Day. I will see you again soon. Bye for now.